If you ever miss class, then you don't really miss class because it's recorded and you can watch it at your leisure on my YouTube page. Or also, if you want to hear something I said again, or if you want to practice, you can get on the YouTube channel and rewatch class. So,
But do you get credit for watching it like that? You know how
it
you said 10 classes, you have to.
talk to me about that. If you watch the class in place of being at class, let me
Uh-huh.
know and talk to me about that. Because
Okay.
when I can look on my YouTube page and I can see that somebody clicked play, but they could have watched 1 second of it and then closed it out. It could be somebody in Nebraska who I've never even known in my whole life. I don't know who it is. Now, there may be a way to know who it is, but I'm not real smart at technology. I wish I was real smart, but I know enough to get on here and teach you this class. So, if just have a conversation with me about it. To be
Okay.
to be what's called a completer in this class, you have to attend 12 of the 16 classes. It used to be 10
Oh,
and they upped it to 12. Um, I have no explanation, but y'all, I have no explanation. But I want you to be a completer. And if you are a completer, then you get to earn a t-shirt. And so I have three different colors of shirts at this point anyway. And this is one of them. It's a teal blue. This one's like a coral kind of pink, and this one is gray. But they all have the same design. It says Tai Chi for Falls Prevention, seeking balance every day. And then the back is our principles. And so you will hear me refer to the principles every single class. And we're going to learn more about what our principles are. And so that's what you can earn if you come to 12 of the 16 classes. Now, some people are lifers, right? And so they've been to so many classes that they earned all three colors of their t-shirt. So they completed three different classes. And on your fourth class that you complete, you can earn a sweatshirt. So I didn't bring any in here because either you know about them because you have them, or y'all aren't there yet because you don't even have your first t-shirt. So, but that is something that we like to offer. Uh, and I like to buy nice t-shirts and sweatshirts. So it's something that you'll want to wear because it's comfortable and it's like a special club that you're in with with Tai Chi. I'm gonna turn off
You
my.
did get my message, didn't you, that mine was too large?
Yes, ma'am. I'll give you a call. That is the funkiest shaped sweatshirt. It's really, really long. It's more like a dress
Yes,
than a
yes, it is.
sweatshirt. I cut, I cut mine off. I just completely chopped the bottom half off of it so it didn't come down real long.
Even the arms was way too long.
Um, well, I like to cut my clothes and crop them off. And so, but anyway, we'll talk about that. I've had some people that have cut the bottom band off and re-sewed it on to fit better for them. But I'll give you a call, Miss Linda, and we'll
That's
talk.
fine.
So back to Tai Chi. So this is just giving y'all information today. I want you to be bought in to the program. I want you to understand what it is that we're doing with Tai Chi. So it's great that we're learning something new. Like I said, these movements that are done in a certain order. The type of Tai Chi we do is called Sun style. What I was going to say, what I started to say was you may have seen Tai Chi where people are squatted down really, really low. Maybe not that low, that was dramatic. but they're squatted really low, and you may see that on movies or televisions. That's not the type of Tai Chi we do. The type of Tai Chi we do is called Sun style, and it's spelled like sun, S-U-N. There is a much higher stance. So we have a soft knee. We never lock our knee. But in this Sun style Tai Chi, we have an upright posture and a higher stance. So the movements that we do are slow in nature. Everything else out in the world is like fast, in a hurry. We're thinking the more I do, the better. We need to go faster. Like we're just constantly inundated with more. But that's not the case in Tai Chi class. We can take all those to-do lists and worries and troubles and hurries, ball them up and just pitch them out the window for at least 1 hour in a week, and slow down and breathe and really start focusing on our bodies. That is one of the best gifts that Tai Chi gives us, is body awareness. Because what we learn in Tai Chi class, we take out of Tai Chi class and apply it, and then we're better for it. And so we're going to learn about how, or what we're looking for when we're being aware of our body, how we're going to hold our bodies in such a way that's more supportive of our structure. So talking about benefits of Tai Chi. So the class itself is Tai Chi for falls prevention. So you may be here because you have fallen. You have a fear of falling. Maybe you notice that you're not as steady on your feet anymore, and you want to do something about it before you do fall. So falls may be your number one reason why you signed up for the class. But there's so much more benefits that you're going to get while you're getting help with falls. My favorite one is reducing stress, anxiety, just to have time to breathe and slow down. It makes a huge difference. Because we go so slow, you think, I can't be doing a whole lot since I'm going so slow. How can I possibly be strengthening my muscles? How could I possibly be doing a cardiovascular exercise? Are you serious? I'm really going to sweat? I'm going to get sore? Well, we're utilizing our muscles to get our muscles stronger. And when our muscles are stronger, a lot of things happen. Yes, we're less likely to fall because we can hold our bodies easier because we're strong. We're able. Also, you think about arthritis. Usually you'll have arthritis in your joints, specifically weight-bearing joints. Your hips and your knees are often those parts that have pains and aches. Yes, our shoulders, our hands, pain from arthritis, inflammation from arthritis. When we strengthen our muscles, then we relieve some of that pressure that's on those joints, specifically our weight-bearing joints. And so we're going to strengthen joints. Through our movements of Tai Chi, we're also going to become more mobile. We're increasing our mobility by doing. Now, honestly, do you wake up in the morning and do you think, I don't feel like it? I hurt. Have you ever thought that? You get up in the morning and you hurt. I mean, you're laying in bed and you hurt. You don't want to do it. When I get up in the morning, something on me hurts. It really hurts. And I could easily say, no, I don't want to. I don't feel like it. But every single morning, I get up anyway. And every single morning, sometimes I'll make a bargain with myself. I'll say, well, maybe I won't do that, but I'll do this. So I start with something, and then it's amazing. Once I get warmed up and started, I don't hurt anymore. So our bodies aren't made to last forever. So we're kind of working against nature. God didn't make us to live forever. So our bodies do wear and tear. So we're doing everything that we can to be the best version of ourselves. And by moving to protect our joints, becoming more mobile, help relieving chronic pain, increasing our flexibility. Every single class we do warm-ups and stretches of our major joints, and that helps with the flexibility. We're going to reduce tension because we're going to learn not to carry tension. Tension causes pain, and so we're not wanting to have pain. So we're going to learn to help be aware of tension that we hold. Think about sometimes whenever you're in pain, you not just like tense up. You're like, it hurts, it hurts, it hurts. Well, what you don't realize is when you tense up, you're going to cause yourself to have more pain. So becoming aware of holding tension and letting it go can help with reduction of tension, reduction of pain. Also, because of movement, we're getting that blood flowing, we're working those muscles, we're going to reduce the stiffness. You ever get stiff? That's usually you wake up in the morning and you just feel like your joints going. It just creaks and it just kind of hurts. And so we know once we get moving, get that blood flowing, then we're going to reduce the tension. And because we are going to be dedicated to doing our exercise, then we increase our stamina. So we can last a little bit longer doing things. It starts somewhere. You can't run a marathon the first time you go for a run or go for a walk. You're not going to run, I don't know how much is a marathon, 26.2 miles. That's how long it is. I've never done a marathon. I don't have any interest. However, I know I can't just go out and run a marathon. You have to gradually prepare and build up your body's ability and have that stamina for physical activity. So we're going to work our muscles, our lungs. We're going to work our heart. It's a full body exercise, even though it's so slow. And sometimes that's like the number one reason why people quit. They say, that's just too slow. I just can't do it. I said it the first time I took class. I said, oh, I don't think this is for me because I like doing all that jumping around and kicking and hopping and dancing. And, I like to just go and sweat and just have a good time doing it. What I didn't realize was that it's what I needed. I needed to slow down. And there's an extra benefit of slowing down because it's harder to do a lot of these movements slower than if we were to do them fast. And so we're going to learn that as I teach you. So that tells you a little bit about the structure of the program. I told you we're going to do warm-up stretches every time. We're going to learn movements. We're going to build on those movements. I told you that they are, I'll tell you more about I told you about Soon style, where it's a more upright not squatted down. It has a higher stance. The program does. It is modified and modifiable. Okay, so what does that mean? It means we can always change it up to help serve you. For instance, if there's a certain move that I teach you and you're like, every time I do that, that really hurts my knee, or I'm just a little too scared to do that, or my feet feel a little too close, or whatever it is, you can either let me know in class or let me know afterwards, and we can modify it. Typically, I'm ahead of y'all. I've done this enough times to where I already offer up modifications for you to try this or to try that if that doesn't work. I've been teaching this class since 2012, and I've been teaching virtually. This is going on my 3rd year. So I've taught a few classes. Typically, I teach 1, 2, 3, about 5 at a time. I teach in-person classes and virtual classes. So this program is evidence-based, proven that it helps with falls prevention and helps with the pain of arthritis. They did a study to prove that it helps with those 2 things. Now, who are we even talking about? Well, we're talking about Dr. Paul Lamb. Okay, so this is my teaching book, but Dr. Paul Lamb, he's the guy in the middle here. He created this program. Actually, there are multiple series of movements that Dr. Lamb created. The one we do is Tai Chi for arthritis and fall prevention. But he has a whole series of Tai Chi for health. He has it for diabetes, for osteoporosis. He has it for rehabilitation. There's a whole catalog of different Tai Chis, but the one we do is for Tai Chi for falls prevention. Now, Dr. Lamb was severely malnourished as a child, and so his joints did not form correctly. So the pain that he got from having arthritis as a young person was what encouraged him to create this program at that higher stance that was easier for people to do. So you can understand a target audience would be older adults that typically have arthritis or problems with falls. But he's a medical doctor and a Tai Chi expert. So he created this program. And so when I go to training, I have to go every 2 years. This is the book that we learn from so that we most effectively teach this class. Now, I won't send you this right away, but give it a couple weeks. And if you don't already have it, I have some supportive material that I can send you. All right, so I have warm-up posters and movement posters. And so they're folded up right here like this. But what they look like is, I went to Walmart and I bought these, I was going to say cheap frames, but I think in 2012 they were cheap, but in 2025, I don't think anything's cheap anymore. But I put them in these frames, and that was just easier for me to keep them. But those fold out as posters. One is the warm-ups and one is the movements that we will learn. All right, so I've always found it handy to just have it nearby whenever I was learning the movements. But that's what those posters are. This is a great compact version of those posters. It's the same thing, it's just in this book. So there's a little bit more information because it has fall prevention stuff in the back of the book. So there's that. I also have a DVD that has the movements and the warm-ups and the movements. This is what we're going to be learning in class. This is a great video. And that people like this more after they've taken class, because sometimes he's kind of hard to understand. And so, so there's a DVD. Of course, you have to have a DVD player to be able to play it. And then also, there's a CD. Now, I cannot play the music on our Zoom class because it mutes it out. So the powers that be that own Zoom, they think I may not have permission to play this music. But the very first song on this CD, Dr. Lamb's daughter wrote specifically for our set of movements. And so if you do it at the pace of the song, then you end your movements at the end of the song. So it's really a beautiful CD. So of course you have to have a CD player in order to play this. So those are options of things that I can send you if you may be interested in those. Most people at least just want the handbook because the poster sometimes is a little cumbersome. Something else I have that I created is a list of all the movements. Also a list of our principles that's on the back of that shirt. But it's just something you can tape on the wall or tape somewhere in front of you. So when you're practicing, you don't have to use your brain for what's next. You can use your brain for how to do what's next as we learn those. So that's just to let you know about resources that are available to you. Oh, that's a lot of information, isn't it? But you got to say it all at some point. But I really wanted y'all to know where the program came from, what are the benefits, kind of how the program is set up, and what resources are available. I won't do it today, but another day I will share my screen and go to the actual YouTube page where I record and upload all my videos. So you know what that looks like and how to navigate it. Because not only is the class recording there, but also tutorial videos of all of our Tai Chi movements. For the class recordings, it will look like this. Like today is January 7th, and this is the afternoon class. So it will say SOWEGA, January 7th, 2025 p.m. So that's how you'll find today's class. That's how it's listed, is a SOWEGA. The date, and then AM or PM, depending on what class you come. Now, I have a morning class in the afternoon class, and got Lula coming. So, if there's a reason, maybe you need to come to the 10 o'clock class, and because maybe you have an appointment or something came up for the afternoon class, I don't have any problem with you coming to either or. Typically, my classes are on the same, about the same place. So you wouldn't have any problem going from let's see if it's still there, in chat. Well, of course not. Why would I? Oh, I know why, because it's connected to the AM class. All right, so here is my direct line. If you ever need to get in touch with me, here is the direct line to my office. It is, I'm putting it in chat, but I'll say it out loud. My direct phone number to my office is 912 292-9052. I'm not always at my office. For instance, I'm at my office, but I'm not in my office. I'm in the conference room. So sometimes I'm here, but I'm not in my office, or sometimes I'm gone. So if you'll leave me a message, then I'll call you back as soon as I get to my phone. Another way to get in touch with me is my email. And so here is my email, and that is Crosby. That is my last name, Crosby, at, and then HOGARC.org. So that stands for Heart of Georgia Altamaha Regional Commission, and then .org. So either way, either one of those way are good ways to get in touch with me if you ever need to call me in between classes. Let's say that you're, if it's where I can even jump on Zoom. I can create a Zoom link, and just we can get on Zoom and talk to each other face to face. So if you're needing help with something, I'm happy to help you with anything. Just let me know what you need. I am here for you, and I do try to make a point to make sure that I get back in touch with you and answer any questions that you have. I like to know whenever you aren't able to make it, because sometimes I worry if something is if something's wrong, but it's not required for you to tell me that you're not coming. You may get a call from me if you miss several times in a row and me ask you if everything is okay, that we miss you in class. But it's just because I want you to be here, and I want this to be a welcoming place.
Walked away again.
Let's see. So you know about YouTube. Class. So we have 1 hour once a week. Now we know that 1 hour once a week, that may be all the exercise that you have time for, and that's okay. But I do encourage you to come to class, to learn, and then make some kind of time between classes to practice. Even if you're just practicing the warm-ups, even if you're just practicing one move, even if you're just practicing transferring weight, I just want you to be thinking about it between classes. I'd love for you to practice. Even if you set 5 minutes to work on something new, then, that's 5 minutes. You're going to be better for every time that you do practice. All right, let's talk about what we need to wear to class. I want you to be comfortable. So whatever you're comfortable wearing. Shoes. I want your shoes to be stable. Now, some of you are in your home, and you may not wear shoes in your home. And sometimes there's a cultural thing there where it's against your culture to wear shoes in your home. So I'm not saying you have to wear shoes, but maybe dedicate just inside shoes, or check your environment to make sure nothing is on the floor that can hurt your feet. We just finished up Christmas, and there seems to be a whole lot more stuff on the floor during Christmas. So give yourself a nice little look to make sure nothing's on the floor, that if you were to do your exercises in bare feet, then you're not going to step on something. Because if you have neuropathy, if you're a diabetic, then you could have something on your foot and not even know it. or it can affect you greatly. It just depends on the floor of your house. Now, there's carpet in this room, so I'm not going to slip on carpet. But if you have a hard floor, then you may be more likely to slip if you're in plain socks. So just be aware of that. I purposely wore the wrong shoes today to show you what type of shoe to not wear. Now, this shoe doesn't have a back. And so it won't be good for Tai Chi class because I'm flopping in it. And in Tai Chi, we want to learn to be very stable. So, okay, I wore these to work, and I can take them off and kick them to the side. And I brought shoes that are better for Tai Chi. Now, what makes these shoes good for Tai Chi is they're flat, right? They have a back, they're very flat, and I can feel very connected to the floor whenever I have them on versus something that's a real thick and has a lot of cushion on it. I like to feel what's called grounded. I like to feel the ground below me when I'm in Tai Chi class. That just gives me a more stable feeling. If I were to wear shoes that had a lot of cushion, so you may have a tennis shoe that has a real thick cushion, it makes me feel very unstable. It makes me feel kind of a little wobbly because there's so much cushion. But some people like that much cushion. That helps them. That makes them feel stable. So you hear me keep saying the word stable. I want you to feel stable. I want you to feel like you're in control of your stance whenever you come to Tai Chi class. So it's not going to be a shoe that is missing the whole back. You know, there are sandals that have a whole ankle strap. And so they'll be even stable, even though it's not a full shoe. It's strapped sandals. It goes around your ankle, it goes around the top of your foot. It's not flopping around. You're stable. You feel the ground below you. So that's the thing about shoes. Wear a shoe that you feel most stable in. Some people like to wear, you know, those shoes that I think they're like swimming shoes. When you go to the beach, they're real flat. They have a rubber bottom and they're kind of like stretchy nylon on top, and your foot fits in them. You know what I'm talking about? It's like a water shoe.
Yeah.
A lot of people will buy those and wear those to Tai Chi class. I know that there are some like house slippers that are kind of built the same way. They're rubber on the bottom, flat, not a whole lot of cushion to them, and they just, fit right over top of your foot, and that allows you to have a little grip to the floor, but not too much cushion in between your actual foot and the floor. That we don't encourage barefoot just for the safety of the foot with things potentially, or with you stepping on things. So any questions that you have for me before we kind of explore some of our warm-ups?
Hey, this Iris Davis. Okay, in preparation of getting ready for the class, how much space do I need around me? Do I need a chair? Do I need hand weight? What do I need as the student?
Okay, that's a very good question. It's almost like I planted you and told you to ask me that question. I don't have that big of a space right here. You know, I hold out my hands and you can tell I almost hit this wall, and then this table is right here. So I have about this much space, and that works for me. So So you don't need a whole lot of space, and you can always kind of regroup and move. I'm very conscious of staying in camera. So even though I have a small space, you know, I may start over here and then have to come over here and then start over the next step. So, you know, about this much space works for me. Now, you won't ever need any hand weights. We don't need hand weights, and you don't necessarily need a chair. Now, some people do seated Tai Chi. I do have a chair right here to demonstrate seated Tai Chi if anybody needs that. This chair here is obviously a foldable chair. This chair here has wheels. Now, the one with wheels, that's not going to be a good choice for stability, because if I try to lean on it, it rolls away from me. Now, this chair right here is the best I have in this office. But you see, it's a little bit short. I would like it if it were about right here, where I still had a little bend in my elbows. But here, my arms are almost completely straight to even rely on this chair. But sometimes we just got to use what we got, right? Sometimes I will hold on to this wall for stability. Sometimes I'll hold on to this chair for stability. Have something that you can rely on if you need to rely on it to help you with balance. Whether it be a table, a wall, or a chair, even if it's not the most ideal and perfect chair. Now, of course, one with wheels would not be good. A chair that rocks would not be good. We want stable is our word, right? We want shoes that help us be stable. We want a table, a chair, wall, things that are stable that keep us from falling. And if you try to rely on a rocking chair, then you can imagine you go to touch it and it moves. That would increase your chance of falls. So seated Tai Chi is an option that we can talk about if anybody's interested. I don't always have people interested. But everything that we do has a seated option. Whenever we do seated Tai Chi, obviously we can't go places because we're seated. We're in a stationary position. Our goal is weight transfer so that we can help strengthen our muscles. Well, if we're sitting, then it's a little more complicated for weight transfer. So what we do is engage muscle by pushing our feet into the floor. So we engage our muscle to help get it stronger. And if we do seated Tai Chi, I hope that your goal would be to try some of it standing. So as you see all the things that we are going to do, be a self-manager and say, hey, I can maybe try that standing up, or I think I'll do that one seated. You can skip arm movements, hold on to your chair, and practice weight transfer and still have the stability of a chair. Because if I came here today and I said, okay, everybody, stand on one leg, stand on one leg for an hour, you think I'm crazy. So, but that's what we're going to be doing for an hour is transferring weight to one leg to move the other, transferring weight to that leg to move the other. And we do it all through our Tai Chi. So the studies show whenever we put weight on one leg and we don't fall, then we're less likely to fall because that means our muscles are strong. So if we're scared to transfer weight to one leg, even if that other foot is on the floor, there's there's no weight on this foot. All my weight's on this leg. If that's scary, then stand with your chair and let it be your supporter. Stand close to your stable table and let it be your support while you transfer weight from one leg to the other. So you want to listen to your body. You want to start where you are and you want to grow from there. So there's no shame in needing a chair, whether you need to stay seated, whether you stand behind it and use it, or, you know, any of the options that I just talked about. There's no shame in that. Start wherever you are and then make an effort to grow and try things. Step a little outside of your comfort zone, knowing that anytime you can go back. So always listen to your body because we're all different, right? There may be some of y'all that just want to watch for a few classes. You know, you just want to really get a feel for it. And there are others of y'all who are just like, let's do it. I mean, what you waiting on? Like, come on, lady, come on. I came to move. So we have a wide range of people in class that have different needs. So I try to, as I get to know y'all, I try to teach to what y'all's needs are. And if there's anything that I'm missing, call me out. You know, just say, hey, I need you to show me this, or can you turn around, or can you, you know, do it from the side? Anything that can be helpful for you, I'm happy to do it. I have a variety of videos on that YouTube page done in different ways. One where I talk you all the way through it, every single movement. One that just calls out the name. One done in silence. So I've tried to take different things that people have told me and cater my classes to those things. So I need y'all to let me know what you need. So I know that was a really long answer to say what you need, but you don't need weights. You need about this much space. Not everybody needs a chair, but it's always nice to have something nearby that you can rely on in times of some uncomfortable, or maybe some that brings up that fear of falling. Anybody have any other questions? All right, so this isn't your final chance to ask questions. So just know that this is one of those classes where you can just call out, ask anything, anytime. I want it to be open. I want you to feel comfortable. So the first thing that we do in class is walk around, open and closing our hands and pumping our arms. And so what's the purpose of this? Well, the purpose of it is to get our bodies warmed up. If we were to move from cold muscles, it increases our chance of injury. And so nobody wants injury. Also, thinking about how cold it is outside, right? So when it's cold outside, your muscles are going to be cold. When it's warm outside, your muscles are going to be warmer. And that's just the way it works. So I will come in here and I will turn on this space heater in winter months to warm up this room so that it's not cold in here. My muscles are warmer. But in the summertime, I don't have to do that because the environment is warmer. But it's all to get my muscles warmed up and ready for movement. It lessens my chance of injury, and it helps me be more flexible whenever I'm doing the warm-up stretches that follow. So I typically open and close my hands. I'll pump my arms like this, and I walk forwards and backwards. Now, in a regular like classroom, I don't typically walk backwards because we don't have eyes in the back of our head. But I can see myself on this computer screen to know that there's nothing back there. I mean, there's a chair, but it's up against the wall now. So forward, walking around the circle, or walking around in a circle. I have a goal of staying in camera. So that's what we always do, is just take a minute or so to walk around and get our bodies warmed up. All right, so when we do our warm-up stretches, which we do every time, we do 2 for all of our major joints. So we have 2 that we do for our neck, 2 that we do for our shoulders, 2 for our spine, 2 for our hips, 2 for our knees, and 2 for our ankles. Okay? So follow me on this. We won't be able to get through all of them today, but next week we will. So we're going to start with our neck. Now, we have to think about our stance, the way we hold our bodies. So what did I do? I took my legs and I put my feet about shoulder width or hip width apart. Now, putting my feet side by side close together, I just felt myself be a little bit more wobbly. This is just like a table. The legs are spread apart, right? If you were to take the legs on a table and put them all together, your table would fall over. Same thing with you. Same thing with the chair. We spread our legs out and helps us be more stable. So about hip width or shoulder width apart. I have a soft bend in my knees. And by that, I mean I'm not locked knees standing straight up. There's a soft bend in my knees. That helps me absorb any kind of impact. If somebody were to run into me and my knees are bent, then I can bend into that knee and I'm less likely to fall over. Whereas if my knees were locked and somebody bumped into me, then I'm more likely to fall over. So what we learn in Tai Chi class, we take out in the world and we replicate. So if we're ever needing to stand somewhere, widen that stance, soft bend in our knees, and good posture. So it's like a string that pulls up from the ceiling to the floor. I have good posture. So I've straightened my back and I've made sure there's no tension in my shoulders. So my shoulders are nice and relaxed. So this is our body structure that we always start with when we start with our warm-up stretches. Okay, so we're relaxed, but we're in control of our body. Take you some deep breaths, and we're not going to talk today about diaphragmatic breathing. The main thing we want to be thinking about is that we are breathing, that we are not holding our breath. Sometimes when we're learning something new, or we're trying something new, or we're challenged, we hold our breath. So we want to just remind ourselves to breathe. As silly as that sounds, but check in and make sure you're breathing. So for our first neck exercise, I'm going to move a little closer. You see my hands are to my sides. I'm going to bring my hands up, palms down. I'm going to stop at about shoulder height. So I'm not going to come up way up here. I'm going to stop at about shoulder height. Then I'm going to turn my hands and pull them towards my chin and chest. Then I'm going to turn my hands and push away from me. Now, I want you to notice this elbow. I kept a soft bend in that elbow. I didn't lock it all the way out. I'm not Frankenstein. We don't lock our knees. We don't lock our elbows either. So we always keep a soft joint. That's called a song joint or an open joint. It allows energy to flow. So we bring our hands up, palms down, turn and pull towards our chin and chest. Turn and push away from our bodies, not locking those elbows. And now my hands are going to go down and my eyes are going to follow those hands. So essentially, my chin went towards my chest. Now, when my chin went towards my chest, I felt a little stretch back there. Did y'all feel that? You feel a little stretch. That's what we're stretching, is our neck. So again, we bring our hands up, palms down, turn, pull towards our chin and chest, turn, push away, and then follow those hands all the way down, chin to chest. Notice how slow we're going. So we bring those hands up, palms down, turn, pull towards our chin and chest, turn, push away from us, and then follow those hands all the way down, chin to chest. Again, hands come up, turn, pull, turn, push, and all the way down. So you may have already noticed that very first time we did that, your neck was really tight. That third and fourth time we did it, oh, it was starting to really kind of feel loose, wasn't it? Neck stretch warm up. All right, here's our other neck stretch warm up. We start out the same way. We bring those hands up, palms down, turn, pull. All right, this time when we get here, we're going to drop one hand down to our hip. Now notice I didn't just fling my arm down. My hand is still engaged. It's down here by my hip. This hand right here, I'm going to turn my head towards my shoulder, and my hand's going to follow my face like I'm looking in a mirror. Then I'm going to come back to the front, and then I'm going to switch my hands. So the other hand goes down to my hip. This hand becomes my mirror as I look towards my shoulder. Now, do I go as far as I can go? No. I go until I feel that slight stretch in my neck, and then I come back to the front. Now let's switch again. Switch our hands and follow that hand as I look towards that shoulder. Come back to the front, switch. See how slow I'm going? Follow this hand as I look over that shoulder. Come back to the front, switch. All right, one more time on each side. Turn towards that shoulder, back to the front, switch. Back to the front, and both hands down. Now again, you might have noticed the first time you did it, you felt a little more stiff than the last time you done it or did it. That's what these stretches do. They help your mobility. That's what we're doing this for, is to help our mobility, to decrease our tension, to decrease that stiffness that we have. And that's just 2 warm-up stretches. We have more to learn, and so we will do less yapping next Tuesday, and we will be able to go through all of our warm-ups. But just let me go through them real quick and just show. Well, nothing's quick in Tai Chi. I just know I'm out of time. So we have stretches for our shoulders, and they look like rolling our shoulders forward and back. Our shoulder stretch looks like a big circle. Then we have our spine where we grab our ball and we separate and stretch. And we separate and stretch. Notice I keep that bend in my elbow. Then for our spine, we go side to side. Then we go to our hips. This is when it gets more complicated because we're actually shifting weight. We shift weight, we heel forward, hands back. We do that on both sides. See this weight shift? We do a lot of weight shifting in Tai Chi. So this is one of those times when I could skip my hands and hold on to my chair, hold on to my wall or my table, and do that movement for my hips, but then I have the comfort of something stable. Again, for our hips, shifting the weight from side to side. And we have our knees where we lift and take that toe out. You see how challenging this is for our bodies to have weight on one leg. We step out and shift forward and back. So we're going to have plenty of time to get comfortable with these movements. Then we have our ankles. And find the place in these movements where we feel most comfortable. And so I'm here to help you be comfortable as we learn Tai Chi. So that's a quick run through of our warm-ups, which we will go through all next week. But we always end class by cooling down. We give ourselves a little fist massage. Our legs work really hard. We didn't do a lot today, but next week you will be prepared to maybe be a little bit sore as we transfer weight from leg to leg. But this is like a fist massage. It's like saying thank you to our legs for working so hard. Then what we do is we gather tension and then we let it go. And this helps us recognize when we're holding tension that can cause us pain so that we can let it go. We hold tension and purposely and let it go intentionally. We have that big shoulder circle. We always do it at the end. Helps us practice breath too. So imagine you inhale as you bring your hands up. Exhale as you push those hands down. And then in the end, we make a fist with our right hand, and that represents our strength. With our left hand, we keep our fingers together, and that represents our friendship. So you see, that's just like us standing right there beside each other. That's our friendship. Our thumb we bring in, and that represents our humility. So strength, friendship, and humility. We put our hands together like this, and in mutual respect, we say namaste.
Namaste.
Namaste is a word that means everything in me respects everything in you. So it doesn't matter how different we are. We can still be respectful of each other. And I think that's a beautiful word. And I think it's so beautiful that I put it on our t-shirt. So when you earn your t-shirt, when you come to 12 classes, then that right there is on the bottom. It says namaste.
Namaste.
So I know I did a lot of talking today, but I hope my intention was that it helped buy you in so that you knew what to expect from class. And you know, it's just been researched. It is made for you. And we can make it even more for you. Okay. So we're in this together. So we'll be here until springtime. We'll go from cold until hot in this one class. So y'all come back next week, and today's class has been recorded. As soon as I get off here, as soon as it does its thing, whatever computers do, and it's ready to upload to YouTube, it will be on my YouTube page for you to look at. Okay? Any final questions before we say goodbye?
Nope.
Well, I'm looking forward to it.
Jennifer,
Yes, ma'am.
I'm questioning Friday. Is there going to be a class Friday? Or
Yep, 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock.
For those, Miss Gwen, I was wondering what happened to you because I saw you and then I don't see your name now.
I didn't
But
realize.
this Friday, so y'all know what she's talking about, is an advanced class. So once you learn these movements and you feel really good about them, it's time to explore those moves in a new way. It's time to possibly learn part 2, which is a whole nother set of movements. And so this Friday, that advanced class starts. So just know that you'll have resources past this class if you want them to be there. So that's a special class. So you're not missing out on anything, but you'll work on getting there. Okay?
Okay.
9 o'clock, and you should have the link. Samantha probably put it on your tablet.
She told me she would.
Okay. But just
Thank you.
let me know if you have any problems.
Okay.
All right, so y'all have my number, my email. If y'all need to get in touch with me between now and then. But if I don't hear from you, then I'll see you next Tuesday, okay?
Okay.
All right, love y'all.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Good. Bye-bye.